Good day and welcome to the Client Communication in the Digital Era conference call hosted by Simon Elvin. My name is Sanj. I am the event manager. During today's presentation, your lines will remain on listen only. If you require assistance at any time, please key *0 on your telephone and the coordinator will be happy to assist you. I would like to advise all parties today's conference call is being recorded. And now I'd like to hand over to Simon. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sanj, and welcome everyone. Good afternoon to today's call on client communication in the digital era. I wanted to kick the call off by sort of framing the context for a number of things that we're doing going forward. I guess we in the Tikit Skunkworks project here have been considering all of the stuff that we do, and we've pretty much realised there's a thread that runs through all of our activities and all of the things that we do with regard to product and the partner products that we have. And that's trust and the importance of trust. And so we're using that as a sort of framing concept for a whole lot of things, including it forming the background to the NUG this year. So you'll see a number of things, a number of presentations at the NUG this year, considering the theme of trust. And what we've done is looked at this sort of concept of the circle of trust. And if you remember, the concept was used really well in the Meet the Fockers film with Ben Stiller playing Greg, who went to meet his girlfriend's parents, and the slightly scary Robert De Niro, who gave Greg a lesson on the importance of trustworthiness by teaching him about the Burns family circle of trust. The idea being very simple. If you're inside the circle, you are trusted by the circle. And if you're outside the circle, then you're not trusted. And the film, the concept used in the film is very funny, but the circle of trust as a concept is no laughing matter because trust is pretty much the foundation of every relationship we have. It influences our interactions with our spouse, our children, our parents, siblings, friends, neighbours, colleagues, and importantly, clients and prospective clients. And the more that trust exists, the better the relationship. But don't forget, you don't start by being in the circle of trust. You actually have to earn the right to be in it, and you actually have to work quite hard to be in it. And again, if we consider the Meet the Fockers film, he had to work very hard indeed, including taking lie detector tests. And retaining the right involves continual effort. And when we're looking at trust, we've come up with 5 dimensions around competency, integrity, transparency, respect, and reliability that we think are central to forming or potentially losing the trust that your prospects and clients have with the firm. So if we consider competency, competency is usually initially judged on people's research, the way that the firm's presented back out to the world through websites, social media, etc., and on research that the client may have done, or potential client may have done, and things like case studies, histories, references, etc. Integrity, this is about not putting your client in danger. This is about adhering to rules and regulations and making sure that the data that you hold for them is absolutely secure. Integrity is one of the easiest places to lose trust. You can imagine the issues if there was a serious data leak from the firm, for example. Respect. This is an interesting one. This is around demonstrating at all times that the client is important to you and that you listen to the client and you respect everything that they've told you. There's a lot on the CRM side in this, a lot on the communication side, the marketing, business development side here, but also the way that feelers interact with the client base. Reliability, again, if you say you're going to do something, do it on time, and do it as planned. The one we're focusing on today, though, more than anything else, is around transparency, and it's around keeping the client informed of everything that's going on. And there's a very good reason that we want to inform the client about everything that goes on. And one of the analogies that I like to draw on that whole transparency side is around the different experience that you get using something like Uber than you have traditionally with minicabs and or taxis. And if you consider what it's like when you order a car through Uber, first of all, you know an enormous amount of things and you're always kept up to date. You know how much it's going to cost. You know who and what you're getting. You know which car you're getting. You know what driver you're getting. You've got an up to the minute report of where that car is and what time you're expected to arrive at the destination, and you can provide them instant feedback on the experience that you had with that particular driver, which puts you completely in control. And this compares to the sort of experience that you can have, not always, with minicabs, where you have to phone up and find out where the dratted thing is, or with black cabs when you leave the place, leave your building, and you have to go and find one. You never quite when one is going to come along. So what we want to be able to do is to translate something like that into what it means for a firm. How do you put the client in control? So if we have a look at some of the ways that law firms in the past have had issues with this, it's where that whole process is something of a black box. We had a presentation at our Carpe Diem user group from Janet Day, who's our Independent Product Advisory Board chair, and she recalled the days when she was working in a law firm back in the early 70s, Allen Overy, where she asked, we need to produce a bill for this client, and she took all of the documents that had been produced for that client down to the clerk's room. They weighed it and said, that'll be £30,000. So no one here has very much idea of what's going on. No one is kept in, no one has information about the process as it proceeds. And people are a little out of understanding of what they're going to be charged at the end of it. And that doesn't engender a lot of trust between the law firm and the client. Key thing is clarity. Research shows that only 23% of law firms think clients want clarity on the legal process, whereas in fact nearly half of them do. They want to know exactly what goes on. They're not willing to just completely trust the firm and say just get on with it. They would like to have more information along the line of what is going on and what the steps are in the process. 60%, of course, want clarity on costs. No one likes an open-ended checkbook, so everyone wants to be kept up to date as to how much they're being charged, why they're being charged, and if there is a variation from what was agreed right up front. And progress. 62% of people want regular updates on progress, and they don't want to have to come and ask for them. So obviously, the implications are a very clear explanation right up front as to exactly what the legal process is. Very similar to the way that surgeons and doctors will tell you exactly what is going to happen with the procedure that you are about to undertake, down to the 14 pages of risks that you have to sign off on, sometimes even with a percentage against each of those risks. Breaking down the process into digestible milestones that the client can understand and can understand the implications at each stage if something goes wrong or what the risk is of something changing at that particular point. Turning the milestones into a plan and include some timings on that so that people understand exactly what's going on and when they can expect the next stage in the process to commence or complete. And obviously a detailed explanation of costs. Where do the costs come from? Where is any variation likely to occur? And obviously immediate notification if something does happen to change either the process or costs. And don't wait to be asked on this stuff. Don't wait to be phoned up, and don't wait for people to say what exactly is going on. That's where frustration occurs, and that's where you can lose the trust of the client. So we're looking to provide continual updates against that milestone plan, including progress against that cost estimate, and use the technology to assist in this. If not everyone who wants you to pick up the phone to them, tell them what's going on, but that does give you an excuse to call, and it does give you an excuse to have a conversation and potentially deepen a relationship. However, that obviously takes quite a lot of effort. So what we're looking to do is to use technology to make that client communication part significantly simpler. And at that point, I'll hand over to Satu to continue with how technology can be used to do that. Satu, you have the ball.
Thank you so much, Simon. I'm just going to share my screen here. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining us for our webinar today on client communication in the digital era. My name is Satu Dhaliwal. I'm the marketing manager at Perfect Portal. So a bit overview on my presentation. First, I will go over the digital era and client expectations and how they have changed over the time, and today's on-demand economy and what is expected out of law firms. Then I will go over customer experience. That's one area that the firms need to focus on, but they always have a hard time understanding what actually it is and how they can actually benefit from it for implementing some changes. So first, we are in the digital era right now, and our clients are in the digital driving seat. In today's economy, consumers have a completely different journey than they used to. Our clients now expect the same level of communication and efficiency in our industry as they do in every other industry that they interact with. Like Simon mentioned, we all use Uber or even Amazon or Netflix, that sort of thing. No longer are we just in competition with other practitioners in our industry, but our clients are comparing our services, our timeframes, our interaction and level of communication with that of all other industries that they deal with. That's right, technology has pushed us to be in competition with all industries. People want information at their fingertips. They don't want to wait. They don't want to be confined to business hours. People expect to have access to information 24 hours a day. And like Simon mentioned, that includes case progress, case updates. They don't necessarily want to call and to ask for the update, because at that point, that's what increases frustrations. Consumers, they also want to know who you are. They want to be able to find out about you before making a decision to contact or engage you. They want to Google you and use the information on the net to form their opinions about you and if you're the right person or firm for them. That's where transparency comes in play, and it is very important to make sure you're customer-centric online. People don't want a sales pitch. They want information at their fingertips to make up their own minds. Our clients no longer buy services anymore. They buy people, and they want to have the ability to get to know you from their smartphone or computer in their own time. We live in an on-demand economy where with a few taps and swipes of our mobile devices, we can have what we want and when we want it. Companies such as Airbnb, Uber, Amazon, and Netflix are changing consumer behaviors and expectations faster than law firms can respond. Consumers have become accustomed to instant gratification, outstanding service, quality, simple, and intuitive process, 24/7 availability, self-service, transparency of products and pricing, personalization and tailoring, and a consistent experience across all channels. It comes to us no surprise that customers bring these expectations to their legal service provider. As more devices and apps deliver instant gratification, the more it sets a new standard for customer expectations. Now, businesses in every industry will have to cater to right now consumer in mobile-first micro moments, or risk missing these critical engagement opportunities. Customers are willing to pay a price premium as high as 18% for a greater customer experience versus product or price. By 2020, and that is just around the corner, this was released by Consumer Report, and by 2020, customer experience will overtake price and product as a key differentiator of brand. I know when transparency came into play, a lot of firms were hesitant in putting their prices up online. But in fact, the ones that have been clear and have presented the information in a way that their clients wanted are actually succeeding and winning more business and growing their practices. And then 73% of buyers point to customer experience as an important factor in purchasing decisions. And 65% of buyers find a positive experience with a brand to be more influential than great advertising. Again, it's all about that experience and how you provide that experience online, because we are on the go. So what does customer experience look like? Customer experience is your customer's perception on how your company treats them. These perceptions affect their behaviors and build memories and feelings to drive their loyalty. In other words, if they like you and continue to like you, they're going to do business with you and recommend you to the others. In doing so, they will spend more. Customer experience is a result of every interaction a customer has with your business, from navigating your website to talking to your staff and receiving their service they bought from you. Now, more than 50% of businesses have redirected their investment towards customer experience and innovation related to it. 89% of customers get frustrated because they need to repeat their issues to multiple representatives. We actually did a mystery shop earlier last year. We tried to do it once or twice a year to see how law firms interact with their customers, from their website all the way from phone call inquiries and email. We have been put on hold, and then first you repeat your information, your name, your nature of inquiry, purchasing a property, selling, whatever, to the first receptionist. Then they pass you on to the actual conveyancer who might deal with your case. Then you repeat the same information again. You haven't even, as a client, you haven't even instructed the firm, but you're already facing these frustrations. So it's always good to do a mystery shop on your own firm to see how you're actually interacting. Put yourself in customers' shoes to see what the journey looks like. Why improve customer experience? I have had chats with some of our clients and even prospects firms, and they say, well, we are busy. We need to do our day-to-day business. We don't have time to look at customer experience. We're here to do legal. It is quite important, but sometimes, putting your head down and working and getting that business done. But in order to, stay successful, you do need to be proactive, and you do need to see and understand the changing requirements of your customers, of your clients. By improving customer experience and meeting their demands, you will improve conversion rates. On average, in the UK, conversion rates are well below 25 to 30%. And again, these are already inquiries that have come to your firm knocking on your door to get your business. But the conversion rate is quite low. Why aren't firms converting quotes into sales or into clients and into instructions? Is because of the customer experience they are providing. This will also improve customer retention and satisfaction. Again, everything goes online. Customers tend to, and even us in general, we tend to make it more verbal when we have a bad experience rather than a good experience. So make sure every interaction that the client has with your firm, it's a positive experience. And if your sales staff is not trained to provide that, make sure that is looked after. And improved customer experience will actually increase cross-selling and upselling. That's quite important because especially if your client's doing a sale transaction, well, they might be purchasing somewhere. They might need a will later on. They might, have other legal requirements. It's always building that share of wallet. It costs more for a firm or any business to acquire a new customer than keeping a customer and growing that business with them. In 2019, mobile searches have generated 27.8 billion more searches than the desktop. Make mobile customer experience as a priority. If a client can't find clear and transparent information on your firm and services on their mobile device, then they will go to next firm that can. As we know, more and more consumers are shopping around in the legal industry. It is vital that you consider the client journey on your website, through whatever form that you interact with clients, that is mobile friendly, device friendly, because again, not everyone has a desktop. Make sure you're always looking at your business and putting yourself in your client's shoes. Self-serve help is the first choice for today's customer. Companies should ensure that customers are able to find answers to their questions using a self-serve option. As 50% of customers think it's important to solve product or service-related issues themselves, then go and speak to the company themselves. 83% of customers go to a company's website for information, and the number is growing significantly every year for legal industry. The customers want that information. As towards the end of last year, when the transparency regulations came in play, a lot of firms, rushed into putting their every information about price and service onto the website. They did the right thing. They were complying to the SRA and CLC regulations, but majority of them didn't think about the end consumer, end customer. If you even look at the competition around your area, you'll see there's a lot of information on price. And again, the customer will get overwhelmed. They might not even be able to understand the information that they have provided, and they will search and go to the next option. The one that does make it simpler, easier to understand that information. So make sure you're not just following the regulations and being compliant, but you're actually looking at those compliance and seeing how does it affect your client and how does that information will be portrayed by your client. So always look into that and making sure your clients can understand that information. There's lots that happens within the 60 seconds over the internet, and it is changing and it's growing quite a bit over the years. And by 2020, these numbers will be changed significantly. It does look quite small. For example, Netflix, 266,000 hours versus 694. That's quite a bit because this is all happens in 60 seconds. In 2018, 862,000 were spent online. Now it's almost 1 million. So again, these are growing and people are purchasing things, making their decisions online over their smartphones, and make sure you can represent your business well online, whether it's on devices, mobiles, desktops, whatever that is popular by your clients. Technology has revolutionized the finance industry over the last decade. Why do I mention finance industry? Because it's quite similar to legal industry, but has changed quite a bit over the last 10 years. Can you imagine a bank or a credit card company without a mobile bank to help you track your expenses or pay bills and more? Legal industry is slower in adapting technology, but we are getting there. The firms that are proactive and are adapting to the growing needs of their clients are the ones that are winning more business and succeeding. I read a news article yesterday, actually, about one of our firms up north, and they stated that they had a record-breaking year this year, and they had been around for more than 200 years in the UK. This growth didn't happen overnight, The firm made a huge decision to make a change in 2016. They decided to be more customer-centric and invest in technology. This has resulted in their conveyancing business growth by 55% with the volume of work that they have received. Their conversion rates have increased, their client satisfaction rates have increased, and they are actually setting the bar quite high for rest of the firms in that area. A lot of the times firms say it's quite easy for young firms to come in, adapt technology and be client-centric, and it's harder for older firms. This firm has proved that wrong. As long as you can build that into your business strategy, embrace technology, and make sure that you have stars in your firm that they can adapt to. You're not just investing in technology, but you're actually using it to its full advantage to take your firm to the next level. Everything that you do, clients do want these updates. This review here is actually from a home mover. They were quite surprised that their solicitor had an app that they can track everything, while they were doing the house process. It had all the details of their case, their solicitor that was handling the case, so they could contact them immediately. They can chat with them. Again, these are the things that you need to look for. What is it that your clients want? What technology is it available to support you in meeting those client demands? Again, growing your business doesn't have to be difficult. There are solutions out there available, Perfect Portal included, who can help you grow your business. In the legal industry, 75% want instant information. They want this from their legal service provider, whether it's a small firm or a large firm. It can make a huge impact. So ditch legacy and go digital. Embrace the digital era. Again, we are in this era for now, but you always need to be thinking forward because it will grow. And if you already fall too far behind in this era, then it'll be hard to adjust with the next movement that will come in play. Thank you for joining us today. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. We are hosting another webinar with Tikit on Tuesday, October the 22nd, to show you how Perfect Portal integrates with Tikit Partners for Windows to help you provide the best experience from the client's initial inquiry to throughout the transaction. That is it from my end, everyone. Thank you very much, and have yourself a lovely day, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. That concludes your conference call for today. You may now disconnect. Thank you for joining. Have a very good day.